coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor. This is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
Good evening. I'm Sydney Vascor, and you are watching MediaPlex News Now. For our top story, Albert Sharp is standing by live in Ford City. Albert?
Thank you, Sydney. Now you're probably wondering why it is I'm eating ice cream. Well, that's because I care about public health. You see, earlier today, Pfizer announced that, Chapman's announced that they donated an industrial freezer to the Windsor-Essex County Health Unit in order to store the Pfizer and biotech with coronavirus vaccine. This vaccine needs to be stored at minus 70 degrees Celsius, or as I like to call, freezing cold. And who else do you trust to keep something cold but an ice cream company? So while we go back to you in the studio, I'm going to go back to my ice cream. Back to you, Sid.
On the weekend, the Downtown Mission held their annual walkathon, this time with a twist. Tega Awabasiwe has the story.
Last Saturday, it virtually was the coldest night of the year. Coldest Night is a COVID-safe, family-friendly walk held to raise money. The money is for charities serving people experiencing homelessness, hurt, and hunger. It has been held annually in 144 communities across Canada since 2011, and the Downtown Mission of Windsor was one of the hosts. It is the biggest fundraiser for the mission, and it is their 8th year participating. The goal this year for the event was $70,000, and they managed to reach about 97% of their goal before the event day. Rushkini Gulin, Director of Development at the mission and the event coordinator this year, said having it virtual had its advantages, and it may be possible to have a mix of virtual and in-person in the future.
It is the first year we've ever done that, really, where it's purely online. We might, next year, we might end up doing some of our event online too, because it's given the opportunity for a lot of people to participate.
Ivy Ehis, an attendee, said she was glad to be able to attend the event, even though it wasn't in person.
I thought it was going to be cancelled because of the COVID-19, but I'm so glad that it ended up not being cancelled. And I'm going to attend with a few of my friends. It's going to be very fun and exciting.
Attendees were able to walk in the safety of their own neighborhoods and also share pictures online. This has been Tega Awabasiwe, report from MediaPlex News Now.
Let's head outside for an early look at the weather. Zach?
I'm standing out here at the corner of University and Victoria on what has been pretty much considered a mild evening. So is this mild weather going to stick around? And how about some snow? We'll talk about it coming up in your 3-day forecast a little later on. Sydney?
St. Clair College will also be going virtual with their Student Representative Council elections. Jivan Aurora has the story.
COVID-19 is affecting everything, whether it is study, business, or travel. And at St. Clair College, it is affecting the Student Representative Council election campaign. This year, the election campaign is happening virtually. Shubham Sharma is a director at Student Representative Council.
At this point of time, you just have to go to in class and just you can't interact with students. That's the only drawback.
St. Clair College made a new rule that prohibited in-person and in-campus campaigns. Christian Sigan is a Vice President of Student Affairs at Student Representative Council.
Unfortunately, we're not allowed to campaign on campus this year, as you said. It is even a rule this year that posters and campaigning on campus is forbidden for this year. So everything that we can do for campaigning is all becoming virtually, and it was all run through the SRC.
Candidates are campaigning through their social media, and their videos are posted on SRC's YouTube channel. SRC election will begin on March 1 on Blackboard. So don't forget to vote. For MediaPlex News, I am Jivan Aurora.
St. Clair College is providing a unique opportunity. Simranjit Kaur tells us more.
There is a golden opportunity provided by St. Clair College in the skilled trades. They are serving free tuitions and paid work placements to lead a new career in this sector. They are mainly targeted to women to engage in this program. Zoin DeSantis is pre-apprentice administrator at the School of Skilled Trades.
Well, basically, it's a program for individuals who are interested in getting into an apprenticeshable trade.
This program is provincially approved for 17 weeks at Level 1 apprenticeship curriculum, and then students will receive paid work placement for 120 hours. After finishing all these components, student will receive a Level 1 curriculum apprenticeship certificate in that trade. I am Simranjeet Kaur reporting for MediaPlex News.
At St. Clair College, we say start here, go anywhere. And as Liam Major reports, the college has reached a new height.
St. Clair College is officially on the top 50 list of top research colleges in Canada. The college published a research and development newsletter that, among other things, noted that the college had not only joined the 2020 top 50 research colleges list, but also the 2020 top 10 most improved research colleges. Peter Warrow is the Director of Applied Research and Development at St. Clair College. He says placement on the list depends on funding for research projects that he and his department carry out.
And our responsibility is essentially to get the grants, to work with companies and write grants and get those funds from government agencies and from companies to come into the college.
Warrow also said that his placement could have multiple positive effects on both the college and his department.
To start, definitely it adds to the publicity for what we're doing as a college. I think just having that recognition is a part of that.
Despite all of the challenges 2020 presented, it's clear that St. Clair's research department isn't slowing down. For MediaPlex News, I'm Liam Major.
Reporter Wafa Al-Kudimi tells us how people are saying goodbye during COVID.
In this big world, nothing can be certain more than death. Losing your loved ones is hard at any time, but the coronavirus pandemic has made it harder to say a last goodbye. So how does a funeral ceremony got impacted by COVID-19? Jerome Brannagan has lost his mother on February 10th.
For our celebration of life for my mother was we would have had the room filled with many, many family and friends. And that would have been an opportunity to reconnect with our family and friends, and there would have been great joy, great laughter filling the room. And that laughter and that joy would have put everybody's heart at peace.
People who serve families to memorialize their loved one at a funeral service have learned more about technology during this pandemic. Brian Parent is a founder and managing director at Families First Funeral Home.
We've learned to use platforms certainly such as Zoom, Skype. We live cast through our YouTube channel to allow friends and family who are unable to travel here to be a part of the service.
One of the hardest things that you may face in this life is to say the last goodbye for your loved ones. Rest in peace, all people who passed away during this pandemic, and our condolences to their families. For MediaPlex News, I am Wafa Al-Kudimi.
Each country is unique in its geography. What is the difference between Canada and India? Simranjeet Kaur explains.
Today I am going to present some differences between Canada and India. India is a democratic country located in Asia. Its name is derived from the river Indus, the valleys which were the homes for early settlers. Canada is a country located in north part of North America. Its name comes from Huron and Iroquois word Canada, which means village or settlement. India is a densely populated area. It covers over 3.2 million kilometers area in total, and the population is over 1.3 billion in 2020. It is the world's second largest country after China in population. Canada is covering 9.98 million square kilometers from Atlantic to Pacific and northward to Arctic Ocean, making it the second largest country by total area. Its population is 38 million. I am Simranjeet Kaur, and this has been your Geography Minute.
Windsor area art lovers will love this story. Tega Awabasiwe has the news.
The Art Gallery of Windsor will be going online. Among the events and programs this year is Thrive, a drop-in arts programming for youth, which is funded by the Ontario Trillium Foundation. Thrive kicked off at the beginning of 2021 and is held bi-monthly.
Right now, we're all hanging out together. It's been really good. We seem to really enjoy our company amongst each other. So we're just kind of rolling with it as it goes and trying to be, what do people need right now? And what are they looking for? So
the meetings are held on a popular group chatting app called Discord. Once there, they engage in art-based activities and explore artworks in the art gallery's permanent collection, as well as socialize and chat with each other.
I think just having that early access to programming that affirms identity, that says, hey, look, there's like other people who are in this community too.
With new RSPC to see every day, it looks like there will never be a source of boredom for anyone. This has been Tega Obasiwe, report from MediaPlex News Now.
The Eatery is opening up once more at St. Clair College, but as Albert Sharp reports, there is a little twist.
Down here at St. Clair College's main campus, Eatery 101 is serving up a different kind of meal than usual. Let's take a look. Eatery 101 is a restaurant operated by the St. Clair College culinary program. However, due to public health measures, the restaurant was forced to pivot, now offering take-home meal kits for customers to prepare the meals themselves. Trevor Pitcher has been a frequent customer of Eatery 101 during the pandemic.
I tried all the options, to be frank with you, and it was incredibly convenient and easy to work with. And so we kind of really were surprised by how easy it was and how good, I'm not exactly much of a chef, I'm more of a scientist, but how readily I was able to make a good meal by following the instructions they provided.
According to Chef Maurice Boire, the new system offers a chance to teach not only his students, but the public as well.
Repeat customers is something that we're seeing a lot of. People who like the concept of going home and having a meal prepared for you, and at the end of it, all you have left over is 2 or 3 dirty dishes. Those are the customers that are that we're seeing repeated.
So when you're ordering out, consider Eatery 101 and bring the taste of class home with you. For MediaPlex News, I'm Albert Sharp.
With many families at home during these times, how are they all handling being under one roof? Wafa Al-Kudimi reports.
It has been more than a year since the outbreak of coronavirus here in Canada. Life has changed in many aspects worldwide. Schools and even children's play areas are closed. So how was the connection between parents and their children during this pandemic? Salma Riz is a mother of 2 kids, 12 and 11.
As a family, it's good that we sit together most of the time, and there is something habits in my children. I didn't know it before. I knew it this year, what they like more. Studying online, it's good seeing them most of the time, what they are doing, what they are and how they act with their teacher.
While children are spending their school time at home, many are concerned about how that impacts them and what about their relationship with their parents. Adam Amber is a grade 6 student.
I miss playing outdoors in the activities and playing with my friends, but on the other hand, I love playing with my mom, my dad. We interact with each other and we have fun.
Although it was a difficult year because of this pandemic, but it allowed parents and children to gather and interact more. For MediaPlex News, I am Wafa Al-Kudimi.
What kind of an effect is COVID having on travel? Simranjeet Kaur reports.
There is diverse impact of COVID-19 on traveling. 217 countries and territories has imposed travel restrictions. With the emergence of new UK variant, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced flight restrictions from UK on 20th of December 2020. Manpreet Singh is an immigrant who was planning to visit his home country during Christmas vacation.
I'm very excited to meet all of my friends, family and my spouse especially. And I have bought a lot of things for my family and gifts as well. And all the things like leave depressing to me.
Canada's economy faces huge losses. GDP declined from 50 to 70%. The hotel occupancy rate is below 20%. Airlines revenue plunged by $314 billion. Job losses reached more than 100 million this year. Most travel has been totally abolished by the pandemic. I am Simranjeet Kaur reporting for MediaPlex News.
It's all about video games in this Money Minute. Jivan Arora has the latest.
Over the last decade, esports is gaining popularity. Esports is competing in multiple games just the same as we compete in other physical sports. The first esports tournament took place in October 1972 in Stanford University. Today it is a very big industry with viewers of 380 million worldwide. According to Newzo, a esports analytic website, the total revenue of esports in 2020 was about $1 billion. And it is estimated that it will reach $1.6 billion in 2023. Professional gamers stream their gameplay on social media. As well, colleges like St. Clair are providing separate courses on esports. A lot of websites and games are giving big prizes by organizing online tournaments. Games such as PUBG, Call of Duty, and Among Us are trending nowadays. To play these games, you just need a PC, a little bit of accessories, and some skills. If you have these things, you too can become a champion and maybe win big. For MediaPlex News, I am Jeevan Arora.
Let's rejoin Zach outside for a look at our 3-day forecast. Zach?
Today we saw a high of 8 degrees, and last time we saw a high like that was back on January 21st. So are we going to have this warmth stick around? Let's take a look in your 3-day forecast. Wednesday, a high of 5 degrees and a chance of rain or flurries. Thursday, we will see sunshine and a high of 1. Friday, sunny and a high of 2. And that's it from the corner of University and Victoria. I'm Zachary Ballog. Back to you, Sydney.
Local artists are trying to stay relevant. Tyler Clapp has that story.
Local music acts are keeping their songs alive during COVID-19. While online music consumption reaches new highs, live musicians have hit a major roadblock as many venues in Windsor-Essex are closed. One such group is country duo Fresh Breath, made up of members Josh and Katie Pascoe. Josh Pascoe said the pandemic changed how Fresh Breath delivered music.
So we just ended up creating a lot more content for online because you had to, right? So we kind of just took what we had planned and changed how we got it into people's hands, I guess.
Aside from new methods of offering music, fellow member Katie Pascoe said social media is one way listeners can help local artists.
The easiest way to show support to other artists and friends and family online is like and share their stuff.
While the pandemic is creating setbacks, local artists are still playing on. For MediaPlex News, I'm Tyler Clapp.
Disney is for everyone, and as Mariana Yanekovic reports, even for those who are visually impaired.
Some say childhood is the best time in our lives. No worries, no problems.
Expressed through dialogue.
Rebecca Blevoigt was born blind. She was 5 when she first realized that not being able to see wasn't something everyone dealt with.
We had just had a visit from the principal of the School for the Blind that I would be attending. And I think it was that visit that made me start to think, I wonder, and I started to realize that I couldn't see out of my eyes.
Rebecca is one of the owners of Tactile Vision Graphics in Windsor, a business that prints materials in Braille. She and her husband Emmanuel have signed a 3-year licensing agreement with Disney to produce at least 15 creative coloring books with Disney characters. Disney books in Braille had never been produced in Disney's 90-year history. Emmanuel came up with the idea.
We had just come back to Canada and he started saying, you know, our coloring books would be great for if we had Disney characters. And my immediate reaction was, well, oh gosh, you know, imagine the red tape you have to go through to get that.
Blind and visually impaired will finally be able to see Disney classics like Mickey Mouse, Bambi, 101 Dalmatian, Goofy, and many more. The process of producing books consists of taking the Disney art and adapting it in a tactile format that will make sense to blind people reading it. Rebecca believes books with Disney characters will open a window to a completely new world.
If I knew that there were Braille coloring books, if the first Braille coloring books that I ever got were Disney characters, that would be very cool. I think as a kid I would have found that extremely neat, you know, to be able to bring that and show the other children and be able to color.
According to the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, there are 500,000 Canadians with significant visual impairment. Almost 200,000 of them reside in Ontario.
The number of requests we've gotten to let them know when the books are available from adults are even more than the number of kids. So it's because we didn't grow up with this stuff either. So yeah, it's a huge lot of people that are going to be impacted by this.
Emmanuel designs graphics in Braille for the purpose of Braille readers. One of his favorite pieces of art that he created is the periodic table of elements. Although making coloring books with Disney characters fulfills him and makes him happy, Emmanuel says it's a long process since it needs to be done very precisely.
It's slow work, slow process. It's too slow for me, but I want everything last week, so I want everything yesterday, so I just have to be patient.
Emmanuel remembers the first time he revealed one of their coloring books to a child. It was with a little girl who was blind.
The little girl was right in front of me, and she was just like this. She had never touched a coloring book with her fingers. What do you think it is? It's a house. Yeah, you're right, that's a house. How do you know it's a house? With windows. Yeah, you're right. It was the first time she was actually touching her own idea of a house. Her mom was just like crying in front of me.
Seeing how blue the sky looks on a bright sunny day, the simplicity of nature's beauty, or the vibrant color of a freshly bloomed flower, so many of us take sight for granted. In their modest office, their second home, Rebecca and Emmanuel don't work alone. They have their biggest supporter always by their side, Carrie, Rebecca's seeing-eye dog and loving companion. Carrie doesn't know what preconception is, but Rebecca's father says it's something Rebecca faced with since she was a child.
The biggest challenge in raising Rebecca, I think it was more related to how other people dealt with her. Everybody wanted to help her, and because of her independence, she wanted to do it herself. So it was very difficult in some ways to tell people, let her do it.
I mean, there are things that are much easier to do when you can see. Just about everything's easier to do when you can see. But I think a larger obstacle than blindness is probably the societal perceptions of what blind people are capable of. That continues to be a battle that I have to fight with just about everyone I meet. There's all sorts of societal impressions that are made before I even say a word.
It's really funny because when Rebecca was a young girl, and even into her teenage years, I thought that this girl's gonna make her mark because she was so inventive, and of course she's met Emmanuel, who is a very creative young man, and between the two of them, they've come up with this phenomenal idea, and they'll do well.
Rebecca decided to embrace her destiny from the moment she became aware of it. Today, she is brave, confident, happy, and determined to bring Disney characters in lives of blind and visually impaired, especially the young ones, and take them on a journey in which they have never been before.
The most important thing, after everything and before everything, is to be true to yourself. Whatever society throws at you, whatever other expectations people have of you, listen to your inner voice and do what's in your heart.
Have you ever heard of Easter eggs in television and movies? Albert Sharp explains.
Have you ever gone hunting for Easter eggs? No, not that kind. By Easter egg, I mean hidden details, clues, or references within a piece of media. Originating with the Atari classic Adventure, Easter eggs have become a staple of modern media, with people dedicating entire careers to finding them on platforms like YouTube. Notable Easter eggs include things like the HAL Room, a recurring room in Kirby games referencing the game's development company, HAL Laboratories, or the infamous Konami Code. In television and film, Easter eggs have been used to reference source materials and other famous pieces of media.
Coming.
Other Easter eggs include things like Starbucks cups appearing in every scene of David Fincher's Fight Club, or the real Frank Abagnale Jr. appearing in Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can, as a police officer arresting his own film counterpart. Regardless of the medium or form they appear, it's clear that Easter eggs are a fun and clever way to add further detail to media. Happy hunting! I'm Albert Sharp, and this has been your Entertainment Minute.
COVID isn't funny, even if you're in the comedy business. Zach Balog reports.
They always used to say it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Well, nowadays it's 5 o'clock anytime and anywhere. Silence. That is the atmosphere at local comedy hotspots in Windsor, Essex. Due to COVID-19, clubs were forced to halt open mic nights and regular shows at the start of the pandemic, leaving comics in limbo. Robert Kemeny, a local stand-up comedian, says that it has been a while since comics have told their last jokes.
Right before St. Paddy's Day of last year. It looks like the next show is not going to be till after St. Paddy's Day this year, so it's a whole year without doing stand-up in Windsor.
Just because there is no stage to perform on, there are still ways to make people laugh through video sites like Zoom, and there are even tutorials on how to do it. Leo Dufour, stand-up comedian and owner of the Windsor Comedy Corner, said that doing comedy virtually might have an impact on the clubs themselves.
They're going through the phases, but eventually I don't think there will be stand-up comedy clubs anymore. Not in this way. Maybe on the internet or on the TV or something like that, but not live. I don't think we'll have the comedy clubs.
With in-person comedy at a halt, you can still tickle your funny bone by logging on and watching it online. For MediaPlex News Now, I'm Zachary Balog.
There haven't been a lot of social interaction since COVID-19, but as Tristan Zuderveen reports, internet activity is changing that.
I want to tell you that the Among Us people are just the bottom half of the Teletubbies.
All right, vote Brian out.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic first began, social interactions have become more and more digital. What used to be a day trip to the mall with friends has become a Discord call in multiplayer games. The rise in internet activity has paved the way for the rise in popularity of streamers. Andrew Gorkin, also known as Twitch streamer Gorkinzola, seeks to comfort and be comforted through live gaming sessions.
I was watching a streamer and he just made me feel a lot better. And I was like, this is something I want to be able to do for other people when they're down in the dumps. I have been using Discord more since the pandemic began. It's definitely probably the easiest way to keep my community in one place.
With everyday life becoming more pixels than people, we here at the MediaPlex have built a virtual reality of our own. Complete with our state-of-the-art radio production booth, and our TV broadcast control room. Reporting virtually from the MediaPlex studios, I'm Tristan Zuderveen, logging off.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Sydney Vascor, and you've been watching MediaPlex News Now.